When the villagers found out that the little girl cried gold, they became greedy. Then the blessing became a curse. They named her Zora, because the day she was born, the moon was shining so bright it turned the whole compound silver. At first, Zora looked like every other baby in the village of Umuoka, soft cheeks, tiny fingers, bright curious eyes. But on the night of her third birthday, something strange happened. She fell down while playing, scraped her knee, and burst into tears. Her mother, Nkem, rushed over to carry her. And froze. Because rolling down her daughter's cheeks were not clear, salty tears. They were gold. Actual, shining, heavy drops of gold, hitting the ground with a soft clink, clink, clink. Nkem's mouth fell open. Her father, Obi, saw it and ran forward, eyes wide. Nkem, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Chinik, she whispered. Gold, from her eyes. They picked up the drops. They were warm. Heavy. Real. That night, they said nothing to anyone. They hid the gold, buried it in a pot behind the hut, and held each other in silence. At first, they told themselves it was a miracle. A blessing. A secret between them and God. But blessings have a way of turning people's hearts when greed enters. One evening, Zara refused to eat her food. She pushed away the plate. I don't want, she mumbled. Her father frowned. Zara, eat your food now. Do you know how hard I worked for this? She still refused. So he shouted at her. Hard. Sharper than usual. Zara's small heart broke. Her lip trembled. Tears welled in her eyes. And once again, gold began to fall. 1 drop. 2. 3. Obi went quiet. Nkem stared. That night, when Zara was asleep, they sat together and counted the gold in their hands. Do you know how much this is worth? Obi whispered. Obi, she's our daughter, Nkem said slowly. We can't. We are suffering, Nkem. Do you want her to grow up in poverty when God has put our solution in our own house? They argued all night. Love and greed wrestling in their hearts. In the end, greed won. The next day, they tested it. Her mother pretended to scold her. Zara, why did you break my calabash? But mommy, I didn't. Don't lie to me. The words cut. Zara's little face crumpled. Tears rolled. More gold. Day after day, they found new ways to make her cry. They would insult her, ignore her, snap at her over small things. They would say, you are so useless. You always spoil everything. Why can't you be like other children? Zara didn't understand. She didn't know why the people who were supposed to love her the most seemed to enjoy her pain. They watched her cry and quickly bent down to pick the golden tears as they dropped. At night, they would smile at each other over heavy bags of gold, whispering about the land they would buy, the fine clothes, the servants. Zara, in her corner, hugged her knees and cried quietly into her pillow. But even then, when the gold soaked her mat, her mother would sneak in to scrape it off. Soon, people started to notice. Obi and Nkem, who had always struggled, suddenly had new wrappers, new goats, bags of rice, and even hired farm help. The villagers whispered. Did Obi join secret society? Maybe Nkem met one rich sugar daddy in the next village. No poor man gets rich like that without something behind it. But no matter how they asked, Obi and Nkem would just laugh. God has remembered us, Obi would say. Go and pray, maybe he will remember you too. Still, suspicion grew. One hot afternoon, when the sun was directly above the palm trees, Zara was outside playing with the other children. They were drawing in the sand, laughing, chasing each other. For the first time in a long time, Zara forgot her sadness. Then one boy, Kolechi, pushed her by mistake. She fell. The pain stung. She tried to be strong, but the tears came anyway. And the children around her stopped. Because as Zara cried, gold fell from her eyes. Right there, on the dusty ground in front of them. The children screamed. Gold. Gold. It's gold. From her eyes. She is a witch. Oh. One girl scooped up a drop and shouted louder. Mama. Papa. Come and see. Within minutes, the whole compound was full. Mothers, fathers, elders, traders, everyone rushed to the spot. And in the middle of the crowd, Zara sat on the ground, shaking, wiping her face, while people pushed each other just to see her tears. And from that day, life became worse for Zara. Everywhere she went, people found ways to make her cry. Mothers pinched her when no one was looking. Men shouted at her on the road. Children mocked her. Cry for us small now. You think we are playing? Cry. The chief of the village heard about her and called Obi and Nkem. They thought maybe, finally, someone would protect their child. Instead, the chief smiled, showing his yellow teeth. This girl, he said slowly, is a treasure to the whole village. From now on, you will bring her to my compound every market day. We will make sure she is well taken care of. Taken care of meant they would all gather, one by one, saying horrible things, doing horrible things. And watch as Zara cried and cried and cried. The chief collected the gold in large bowls and locked it away. He gave Obi and Nkem a small portion and kept the rest for development. Zara begged them to stop. Nkem's eyes filled with guilt, but she stayed quiet. Because by now, their house was full. Bags of rice, wrappers, jewels, money, all bought with Zara's pain. They had grown too used to comfort to let it go. One night, when Zara was about 12 years old, she slept and had a dream. In the dream, she was standing by the village river. The moonlight touched her face gently. An old woman appeared from the water, dressed in white, with eyes that saw straight through her. My child, the woman said, do you know why your tears are gold? Zara shook her head. Your tears are value, the woman continued. Your pain has power. But power in the wrong hands becomes destruction. Zara's voice trembled. Can I stop it? I don't want to cry gold again. I don't want anyone to hurt me again. The woman looked at her for a long time. You cannot stop your gift, she said. But you can change it. How? Zara whispered. The woman's eyes darkened. The more they hurt you for their gain, the hotter your tears will become. One day, if they do not stop, your tears will turn to fire. And anything that has been built on your suffering will burn. Mama, Papa, please. The woman in my dream said something bad will happen if they don't stop. Her father laughed. So now you are dreaming like prophet. Zara, don't make me angry this morning, her mother added. Do what the chief says. Don't disgrace us. They pushed her out again that day. Then, everything came to an end. The chief called a bigger gathering than usual. Traders from other villages were present. He had a plan. Today, he announced proudly, we will make this girl cry until we fill 3 pots with gold. Zara stood in the middle of the compound, surrounded. Her parents were at the front, unable to meet her eyes. They started. One by one, they took turns. Insulting her. Mocking her. Normally, this is where the gold would start. The chief stepped forward, angry that no gold had fallen yet. Cry. Now. He slapped her. The sound echoed through the compound. Zara finally broke. But when the first tear fell from her eye, it was not gold. It was red. Glowing. Like a coal dropped from a fire. It hit the ground. The dry grass began to smoke. Someone shouted. Wait. Something is burning. Another tear fell. Then another. Each one hit the earth with a soft sssshhh, like rain on hot stone, except instead of cooling, it heated. The children screamed. Her tears. They are fire. She's burning the ground. But it was too late. Years and years of pain, squeezed out for money, had finally transformed. Her tears turned into streams of flame, running down her cheeks, falling to the ground, licking at the chief's feet. He screamed as fire caught his robes. The gold in the clay pots around them grew hotter, until the pots cracked and melted. Hot caught fire. The banners, the thatched roofs, the stored food, everything built and bought with Zara's suffering, began to burn first. As the flames rose, Zara stood in the middle, shaking, crying louder, her tears turning the dusty compound into a glowing river. P.E.O., the whole village will burn. Stop crying, Zara. Please. Please stop. Now they were begging her to stop. Now they were the ones crying. Her parents fell at her feet, coughing in the smoke. Zara, please, her mother sobbed. We are sorry. We are so sorry. The old woman from her dream appeared again, standing at the edge of the fire. No one else seemed to see her. Zara, she said softly. You can't change what they chose. But you can choose what happens next. She picked up one of her tears and went to plant it like the old woman said. From that moment, Zara walked away from the burnt village and everyone who had used her. Far away, she planted the golden tear by a quiet river, and it grew into a strange tree with leaves that glittered like coins, but only bore fruit when there was laughter, not crying. People say she now watches over children whose pain is being used, and when the suffering becomes too much, their tears can turn to fire too. Moral of the story. Greed can turn a blessing into a curse. If you build your wealth on someone else's pain, don't be surprised when the same tears that blessed you come back to burn you.